What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday. Welcome back. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. We're here live pretty much every day, giving you the latest and greatest cutting edge of charts, news, crypto, whatever it is. So settle in, crack a brew. It is early on Sunday, but why not? Roll up. Let's get hype. I was really sick yesterday, but I'm feeling a little bit better, and I wanted to get at least some kind of update for you guys. So let's get into it. What's Bitcoin going to do next? What's the week ahead looking like? We're going to take a peek at maybe some large economic factors coming in the week ahead. We're going to take a peek at your favorite altcoins. Off the top of my head, we have HBAR, VET. There's a few others. Stay tuned for that. Absolutely. Crownanalysis.com. We've had a lot of people step up to the plate and be interested in writing articles. If you are, jump in the Discord, send me a DM, and we'll hook you up. Lots of great stuff going on there. I'm loving the energy behind all of these articles, people contributing. It's freaking awesome. So let's jump into it. It is the weekend, and so traditional markets are not trading, though traders are anticipating a spicy close to February ahead. And we're going to take a look at a few things here. US 30, 500, Dow Jones, S&P, and NASDAQ all closed about 1 to 1.5% down on Friday. Not the greatest setup for Monday, especially as we've been seeing the dollar gain strength over, I'd say, the last 2 or 3 weeks. We've been seeing some spicy upside action on the dollar, and that is putting pressure on assets abroad. One thing I wanted to look at and share with you guys, let's take a peek. We have 3 weeks and 3 days until our favorite Chirpow joins us live again for an FOMC meeting. The interesting part here is the speculation of markets. We are basically sitting here wondering what the Fed is going to do next. We have almost a month to go, and market participants are weighing whether we're going to see a Dovish 25 BPS or lower, or a Hawkish 50 or higher BPS hike in March. So what's catching my eye, and we're gonna definitely take a look at this tomorrow, is the target rate probability indicator. Basically, this is just a guess, right? It's a guess. And so the percents aren't really that important, but what I find important is essentially comparing previous week's probability to current. And what we're seeing is the market was looking at a 25 BPS hike. And in fact, this was all the way up in the 90s, I believe, early February, now down to 73% with a 50 BPS hike inching its way up into favor, up from what was like single digits to 27%. And we can even see previous day probability, the 25 BPS is dropping and the 50 BPS is rising. Essentially, we are going to expect downside price action on stocks, commodities, crypto, whatever it is, everything. If the dollar sees a higher rate hike, we're likely to see extra upside on the dollar, and that is usually bloody for markets. So we're going to keep a close eye on this as time goes forward. And real quick, let's look at our economic calendar, go to our filters, and we're going to select the 3 stars because we are 3-star peoples. Let's go into this week. On Monday, core durable good orders. That's a big metric for the U.S. Pending home sales. Wait, on Monday? Yeah, the 27th. Tuesday, we have for the U.S. CB consumer confidence. Wednesday, March 1st, looks like manufacturing, PMI, crude oil inventories. On the 2nd, initial jobless claims. This is going to be a big one again. We've been seeing numbers for job or employment numbers coming in very strong, and that is a negative tone for the Fed. The Fed is really looking for employment to slow down, unemployment to pick up, so that they can begin pivoting. However, the last 2 readings haven't been giving us what we were hoping for. So Thursday, March the 2nd, likely a big one. And then the 3rd, ISM non-manufacturing PMI. Cool. Not really that spicy. Probably bigger, spicier things in March. Looking at crypto, let's look at the top 10 in the last 24 hours. Relatively flat again. We're seeing Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, surprisingly. BNB, XRP, Cardano, Polygon, Doge, all coming in with basically a 1% upside, most of which are down for the week. The only one that stands out differently, and this is just weird to me, OKB, I think this is OKX's native exchange token, which I've never heard anyone really talk about, nor have I think anyone ever asked to have it charted. That's a red flag to me. It reminds me of FTX back in the day. I'm not saying at all that OKX is, insolvent or something, but what I am saying is it is definitely a red flag. Back in the 2021, FTX all of a sudden was up there in the top 10, maybe in top 5 exchanges, yet no one I know used it, and that's kind of the vibe I'm getting here with OKB. It's like no one ever talks about it, no one's asked to chart it. We've seen more people asked to chart low caps than this apparently $13 billion market cap coin. So I'm not interested in this one, like holding it, buying it, but hey, if you guys in the chat feel differently about it, let me know. Tell me you're interested in it. Maybe we can push away those red flags. Biggest gainers and losers. Top gainers: DeFi, Gram, Terona, H2O DAO, Blocks, Liquidity, Celestial, Alex Lab. I've never heard of any of these. Have you guys heard of these? Never heard of any of those. Biggest losers: Thales, Boba Network, Level, Daffy, Protocol, Hunt, Wanchain. Finally, something I recognize, not that I really love this coin or anything, but Wan. I remember people talking about that back in like 2019. I don't remember what it was related to, but there were some really hopeful people on it. I wonder if anyone in the chat still looking hopeful for Wanchain. AMP. We have to go all the way down here to AMP to see minus 7%. That's the next one I noticed that I recognize, and that's it. So not really a big day, it seems, for the small caps. Not a lot going on there. This is Wanchain. I forget this. May of 28. Jeez. Traded at like, looks like $9, and now trading at 25 cents. Meh. Let's update on our live stream trades here really quick. We're not going to spend too much time. The short that we opened, or that I opened literally minutes before the last live stream from 23.8 on 20x. We're getting a little more degen on this channel because I know you guys love that degen, those degen trades. Smash the likes and subscribes for degen trades. We're up 50% here. Not a huge position, about $170 in profit. Honestly, I'm keeping this where it is. Essentially, I'm using this as a hedge on my hedge on my hedge on my hedge. We saw a really weak pattern play out from about 23.8, multiple tests to support with lower highs. That was my signal to go long. Stops moved just in profit, but I don't know how I feel about this one. I think it would be smarter, and we're going to look at last stream's live TA because it was a banger. Something tells me I might want to move the stop here to 23.3 or slightly above, because I can kind of see this playing out, and we'll get more into the TA. I can kind of see this playing out, looking at our fib tool, bring it from our high to our low, and basically our entry is below the 0.5. To see price move up there, essentially stop out shorts like mine, and then move lower would not be crazy, and in fact would be probably what we expect in markets. So at the moment, no changes there. 23.3, I might think about changing it. Time will tell. Let's see. That trade, by the way, on BingX, our sponsor, Bybit and Market Cypher. Got to shout them out. Check them out in the video description, link below and in the chat. Sign up using my link to help support the stream. I get a little % of the commission fee. Doesn't go to the exchange. It's a win-win. Plus, you'll get some nice sign-up bonuses from my link. Chilling here on our Femex long trade at the start of the year from 16.5. Still open, no changes. 21.3. Moved the stop up. I may, here's my planning on this. If that short stays open, I probably will pull this stop loss down and instead take profits on that short at 21.3 and leave this long open. But that's going to be definitely dynamic. Not a lot of change on this one. 240% up, almost $5,000 in profit. That one's looking pretty darn good. We're schlonging, baby. Oh, we're schlong. I believe that's the only one open. Or those are the only two open, because last stream we had 2 shorts open, and I did take 25% profit on the bigger one, and we closed the other trade that was on MEXC at 23.3, and now, well, we're pretty much in that range. So this is last stream's TA. It may look a little not so great, mostly because of this crazy wick. We saw this wick paint on only Coinbase. Other exchanges did experience a low. However, I don't think any other exchange traded down to 22.5. This was something I wanted to share with you guys because back in the day, this was very common. We saw price action. We would say it was a fat-fingered whale. We would say, you know, something, whatever, an algorithm went wrong. Essentially, a big sell order hit Coinbase. It didn't have the liquidity at that price level to absorb it. However, buyers did come in, perhaps arbitrage trading, saying, man, nobody else went this low. We can buy this up, sell it on another exchange, and make a profit with very little risk. So that's my guess here, especially as that low hasn't been broken. That's my guess. We used to see it a lot, but I believe the markets have become way more liquid, and now we don't see this as often. However, those are real wicks. A lot of people ask me, is that real? Could you have an order filled? Yes. In fact, in 2017 and 18, I remember filling, even setting limit orders specifically for this. Now it doesn't seem as productive as we really don't see them happen often. But I remember I got a really sick fill. I think it was on Litecoin once. It was like 30 or 40% below spot, instantly went back up. It's pretty slick. So just to rehash the TA, definitely didn't see that wick coming. In fact, maybe no one could have except for the person putting that order in. We were looking for 23,000 and a rally to 23.3. Now, we got this wick first. However, almost immediately after this wick, we're on a 5-minute candle here. Almost immediately after, price traded up to 23.3 on Coinbase, 23.334. We were within $10, which is 0.001%, maybe 0.01%. Very, very good. Very solid look here for resistance. That played out pretty well. 23,000 continued to act as support until it was lost, back tested, tested again, and price really ranged there. These levels, remarkably good, honestly. Rejecting from that resistance, we did come down to 22.7 or 22.8. It did find support, moved back above resistance, back tested it, and continued to kind of do this bouncing. So here we are. We are coming off 1, 2, 3, 4 higher lows on very low time frames, and we do technically have 1, 2, 3, 4 maybe higher highs here. And that brings us to today's TA. If we zoom out a little bit, get rid of some of this noise, looking at our previous high here of 23 at 25.3, down to our lower high here that started painting this ugly pattern, our descending trend, looking like it's going to be in play maybe during this live stream, to be honest. Price has touched it maybe an hour ago, rejected, but we don't see yet lower lows. We do have lower highs, and so we are in threat of maybe this ugly flat bottom pattern painting out, looking for downside price action. Now, I haven't gone through the charts. I haven't really been connected because I was sick yesterday. I didn't look at the charts at all. I needed a break. And we're going to do that together. So we're going to take a peek and see if the charts are telling us anything. If the tea leaves have something to say. Before we get into that, which we will do in just a minute. Man, I'm still coughing. Which we'll get into in just a minute, guys. I want to take a peek at the chat here as soon as I clean up this chart. And I want to see not only who is here, please let me know you're here. Put something in chat. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. We need engagement. YouTube is an engagement slut. And the more engagement our streams get, the more it shows it to more people. And so it does make a difference. Engagement is liking the live, subscribing while live, voting in the polls, chatting in the live stream, and sharing the stream. So please, give those buttons a click. Costs you nothing. If you don't like the rest of the stream down the road, you can take that like back, give it a dislike. I don't care. Doesn't matter. I'm just making sure we get a stream in today. I'm doing my best. So who's here? What's up, Death Shadow? What did you miss? Not much. By the way, guys, after the live, this will be time stamped, so you can go back and catch your favorite parts of the stream if you missed them. And if you're here and you have to run, I know these streams can be long. If you can, leave a tab open. It helps with the engagement, average view duration. I appreciate you. So let's see who's here. My bad. Alex, Louisiana. Check the monthly, brother. Well, I'm never afraid to check that monthly. And with 2 days and 9 hours to go, Alex, thank you. Thank you for that reminder, because this is coming into play quickly, very quickly. Let me see if I can clean that up. Boom. We'll start from the monthly. Thank you, Alex. What's up, Denim? You're here. Right on, brother. Good to have you. Meso Lova. Love the Shanghai brother in the house. I don't know what that is, my friend, but welcome. What's up, Sweaty Dave? Lick the hike button. What is the hike button? Time will tell. Haris Jawed. Check Velo Velo Velo. I don't know if Velo 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 is a chart, but maybe we will. I didn't see it on the biggest gainers or losers. We got a bunch of charts to look at now that I have this up. Vet, Gala, H-Bar, CRV, just a few. Probably check back in on Matic. Maybe we'll look at Ethereum and ADA and some other large caps. Who else is here? Crypto 420. Hello, my fellow 420 lover. Kevin VG, always late? That's okay. You're allowed to be late. Truck Talks. More love to Soul. Maybe we'll take a peek at Soul. Oh no, you said always here, my bad. St. Michael, how you doing, man? Tor. Got a fever and the only prescription is more engagement. Tor, can I hire you to just write my intros? Because that would have been fire. I'm sick and the only cure is more engagement. What's up, Carrie Chaos? Adam Buzzard, my man. I see you on Twitter. Blazing the trail ahead. I appreciate it. Mr. TV Show Lover. Thoughts on CME gaps? It is Sunday, and CME will begin trading again in about 8 hours, so we'll take a peek at it. Actually, I already have it pulled up. That works out. I already have it pulled up. We'll talk about that in a minute. What's up, Breeze? Peter Mighty, I see you out there on Twitter as well. Sproxy, Israeli Fernandez. When 420? 420 now. 420 now. Is that a huge hidden bullish on 4 hour or 6 hour? We will find out here. We're going to start from the monthly because I almost forgot February is wrapping up here. 2 days and 9 hours to go, and not such an impressive monthly candle. In fact, maybe not so great of a monthly candle, but we're going to look at that in just a minute. What's up, Crypto Slow Joe, my man? Good to see you back. I like that you've been around the last few streams. I appreciate you. J.R. Thawny, love the new time slot. 10:30, I think, is the right mix between early and me being a human. I just could not be a human at 9:30 in the morning. What's up, S. Bean? Take a look at Woo if we have time. Israeli, we already have that pulled up. YouTube channel with the best name. How you doing, Mang? Wesley Parker, you type on your phone and watch on your iPad. 2 viewers at 1. View reception, brother. And then maybe if you live stream it from your camera to TikTok, that'll be quad view reception. I don't know, man. What's up, Jarno? How you doing, dude? Hello from Cincinnati. Shout out to Cincinnati. Smash those likes for Mr. Tom. Thank you kindly. We have 240 likes, 550 viewers. It's a lazy Sunday. But let's get those viewers to likes. Let's have them match up at minimum. Let's get 420. We can do that right now with your help. Dazix Gaming, how you doing, man? Marco Knodler, hello from Germany. Guten Tag, Germany. Dimitri Biswas, do super trend and stochastic work? Do stoch and super trend work? I guess it depends on what you mean by work. Whenever people ask me, does that work? Or does TA work? It's like it really comes down to what does work mean to you? Does it mean it's a free money machine? Almost certainly not. Does it work that you can maybe take advantaged probabilistic trades using it? Perhaps. It's a much lower bar. What's up, bro? Tip. You cooking bacon? Baking pancakes, taking the bacon, putting it in the pancakes. That's right. B Scruff, get well soon. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm just a little nasally, but thank you, my friend. Shakru T, love the streams. Love that you're here, my friend. Kraj, new support, Terra USTC. I don't know about that, man. I'm not touching that crap. Alex, Louisiana, craziest monthly ever being respected. Anticipating Red Doji. We'll have to take a peek. It is spicy. It is spicy, and I appreciate the heads up. I almost would have skipped it, not realizing we only have 2 days left. What's up, Nate? What's up, my brother, Nate? Indiana Candles. Sudeep, my dude. You are everywhere. I appreciate you. 420 Bud Monster. Crypto Nana. Crypto Crabman. Philip J. Fry from Futurama is here. Taj Vaj. How you doing, man? Mr. Amy Hakan Khan. All right. We're getting settled in. We haven't gotten any more likes. That's odd. We need more likes. We need more likes. We need someone to subscribe and take the stream scribe-ginity. And I think that actually just happened. Mr. David Gelfand subscribing during the live. Congrats, my friend. You are today's winner of this stream scribe-ginity. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you. Please bear with me today. I'm doing my best. Doing my best. Appreciate your work and time. I appreciate every single one of you that come out. I love it. You can unsubscribe and resubscribe. I don't think that actually does it. We've tested it. It doesn't, like, re-trigger it. I don't know why. TA works. I agree. TA doesn't work when you expect it to be a crystal ball. Chopped liver over here. I already shouted you out, Sharknado. You little engagement person. Me too. Harris Jowd, sophisticated dirtbag fly fishing. Yo. Isu Kronos, bear with me today. Ha 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 ha. Maybe it's a sign. King of TA. I don't know about that, man. Half the chat just unsubbed to find out it wouldn't work. Yeah, it doesn't. I don't know why, man. You'd think it would. It doesn't. All right, let's get into it. Keep hyping up the chat. Keep smashing the likes. Keep sharing. Keep subscribing. We're going to get into the goodies here. What's up, CC Ireland? L&M. TA is a meme. But memes are one of the most powerful forces on Earth. So I fail to see your point. I fail to see your point. Let's get into the monthly here. Shout out to Alex for pointing this out because I almost skipped it. We'll start our TA on the month as we typically do, but maybe haven't been the last few weeks. So you got a point here, my friend. This monthly close, pretty sketchy. Looking at July and August of 22's little dead cat bounce off the bottom. We saw July close at 23.3. August opened at 23.3. Did have a higher high, oddly, before sinking down to a higher low. I remember this. Before falling to 15.5. But you got a point here. The man's got a point. 23.3. While this is also a very important level to the Ichimoku cloud on the day, it is of utmost importance to the monthly here. This is basically the monthly resistance that exists all the way up to like 35K. This is it right here. From 25.2 to 23.3. If price, maybe even in March, although I'm not super bullish on March, time will tell. If price can move above 25.2, the next upside resistance, the next time you'd expect to see this much profit taking, consolidation, etc., 35K. That's a pretty big upside, but we aren't there yet. We aren't there yet, man. TA is highly contextual. We can get in, if you guys want me to, I'll rant about TA and why it works, but let's do some charts first. Let's get into the charts. So looking at the month, actually this is odd. I might send this to Crypto Face. I don't know if he's noticed this. I look at this all the time. I didn't notice this until now. It does seem like the monthly has some hopium for us. Now, it's not the dankest hopium. It ain't, it's like mids hopium. But apexing in April of 21, money flow then began to put in lower highs and trickled off all the way until the end of December of 22. Despite price rallying pretty hard in January, money flow didn't really recoup. However, we did get VWAP rolled over to 0 and now in positive territory. And actually, this is the mids hopium, but still, sometimes you gotta roll with mids sometimes. That's all you got. VWAP is up and money flow actually trending back up on the monthly despite February's like doji candle. That's not a bad sign. In a million years, I would not have expected to see this, to be honest. March likely to continue telling that story, but money flow, this is the first time it's trended up, honestly, since July or September of 21 on the monthly time frame. You could explain that by saying, well, you had so much selling that any upside is going to be positive money flow, and I'd agree. RSI in the month approaching the RSI moving average for the first time since, again, April, May of 21. It's been a long time. This is not really super tradable, I would say, but it is saying that, or it is backing up, I'll say our monthly candles here, that moving to the upside is of utmost importance into the next few months. A rejection here, moving into oversold, which I don't think on the monthly Bitcoin's ever seen, would absolutely suggest lower lows or at least retests of our lows in the future. So back to the monthly really quick. In the next 2 days and 9 hours, we want to see, for the bulls, we want to see 23.3. We want to see this close green. A red doji here would be pretty crappy. That would not be great. I'll take the green doge. Trading above 23.1 in the next 2 days and 9 hours will give us that green bodied candle. That's what I'm hoping for. But to really set this thing up for a strong March, 23.3 is where I'd be looking. Luckily, that is within $100 of price, which is again about half of 1% to the upside next 2 days. What I would say is watch the last like 24 hours of this candle for February. If we see a run up in the last day and that run up brings us above 23.3 and closes there, that's going to be a pretty damn strong bullish signal in my opinion. Absolutely. So the monthly, it's being contested. This is uncertain at best, right? We have a low and a high, neither of which really are super important. Respectfully, the high virtually a double top at 25.2, the low kind of in the middle of nowhere down at 21.3. Let's skip it over to the weekly. I will say I'm surprised how much I like that monthly candle. Okay, down to the week. This is as always, guys, when I stream and do TA and trade, this is basically with intent for you guys to be able to watch an experienced trader. Whether you think I'm a good trader or not doesn't matter, because you shouldn't be just copying my trades. I'd never suggest that, because that'll get you wrecked. But what might not get you wrecked is to watch maybe someone else get wrecked, or their analysis, their mindset, how they go through the charts, how they break it down, and you can take away some value from that. I learned a lot of my TA from doing just that. So hopefully you guys get some value there. The weekly, there's a trend line missing. Let's take our all-time high, connect it to March of 22, up at 47-ish K, and let's extend that line down. Boom. When we do that, this chart looks pretty damn good. It looks pretty good. Your descending high trend, you broke it in January, you back tested it in early February, now you're looking to close higher potentially. That's a great setup. Absolutely a great setup. What this really suggests to me is this. I'm not saying necessarily like the long would be taken right now, but this is again just a concept. So the concept is this. If price truly bumped and is now running, which we would say is likely, as we had a high, we had a higher low, now a higher high, we haven't broken that low, but if we do, this is off the table. What this is saying is essentially trading above that trend line, the bias is to the upside. I've been saying this a lot lately with total crypto market cap, a very similar predicament, but I like the confluence between this Bitcoin chart and total, where we have two very identifiable invalidations. So bias to the upside as long as we're above this uptrend, right? If we lose this uptrend, all of a sudden this chart looks like total garbage, and my bias will be to the downside for the short, medium price action. So again, not necessarily saying right here or something, but a stop below that trend line, not financial advice, but that concept of trading, I think, is a solid mindset. You have an invalidation, you have a validation, that validation is above the trend line, right? Something really important I want to say though is I remember this back when I was more noobish in 2018. This similar setup where we had a descending high trend, right? I do want to caution you guys. We had something similar, and it's going to be hard. There it is. I thought it was going to be hard. It wasn't. Found it right away. Look at the difference between these bear markets, dude. 20K, it dropped to 10K. Everyone thought the bull market was on. It rallied to 16, broke, fell all the way to 5.8. That was a much faster, crazier bear market. But this is what I wanted to kind of bring up. So this isn't exactly the same. We can say it's arguably the same, but not exactly the same. So we had the descending high trend in the same fashion. Price broke it, it back tested it, and then basically kept back testing it. I think right about here, or maybe even here, I remember getting really bullish because I had really only had like a year, 2 years in crypto at that point, and saying we broke the descending trend. That means we're in a bull market. Oh man, I was foolish. Everybody learns from zero. But we did backtest that trend line, but that didn't really put us back into a bull market. In fact, it really didn't. Price kept hitting lower highs. Our lows were flat, and boom, we dumped the 31K. So keep this in mind. Though that, I will say now that I'm saying it out loud, doesn't really fit the same as in like the invalidation because it never went back below. If it did, that would have been really bearish. But I guess my takeaway here is this isn't the end of a bear market, guaranteed. We've seen that before, and it did not bring us to a bull market. So in the same sense, this could too. However, I do think this is a little bit more bullish. You broke it, you backtested it right away. As long as you don't break those lows, you're doing pretty good. You're doing pretty good. So there are some similarities. I remember getting so bullish. So bullish. And did I learn? All right, so on to the week. Obviously, the 200 weekly moving average and the 50 DeathCross 2 weeks ago. As we predicted, we were the first people looking at it. Now, my takeaway here is, again, very similar. And this is, I guess, the third piece of confluence. Is as long as you don't have a lower low off of that 200 rejection, what are you doing? You're eventually painting a flat top. You're eventually painting a bullish structure. That's definitely invalidated below 21.3. But there you are. Not a lot of change there. The 200 right at 25.2. That was our swing high on the monthly. And our 50 basically coming on down to 24.3. And that's like basically this weekly resistance right here. So not a lot of change, but good review. Weekly still looking pretty garbage. Man, this is just look garbage and garbage. The only thing that's good, we did break this low, so we would look for money flow to roll over. However, what we see commonly isn't necessarily a clean rollover. We see a lower or a higher low maybe, and then that breaks, and then we look for it to roll over. So the weekly has some hopium, but it's not very fresh. It's not very fresh. Our weekly momentum hasn't pinched yet. When it does, we're probably looking for that higher low, and that's likely to spill price down into invalidation. Yuck. So pray that doesn't happen, basically, if you want upside. Pray. I don't know what this VWAP's doing, man. It's doing the dong again. It's doing the dongler. I don't like it. RSI. Interesting. Interesting. I wonder if anyone else noticed this. I haven't seen any posts about it. RSI on the week is actually pretty interesting. I'm not going to call this a pattern yet because that would be really preemptive. It'd be super preemptive to do that. However, there is something interesting here and is already confirmed. On the weekly RSI at 58.8 in January of 23, or late January and mid-February, RSI on the week hit the exact same level twice. This is also confirmed by, we always say you can't say there's divergence until you have a reversal. Well, we do have it right here. So this is interesting. This is a Class C bearish divergence. Class C sounds so fancy, right? So fancy, huh? Sounds smart. So what is a Class C? Essentially, it's just a double top on your indicator versus double top in price. These are the weakest of the classes of divergence, whether it's bearish or bullish. This one, obviously a bearish one. But they are weak and not typically macro reversals, so I'll take that, put that in my hopium pipe, and I'll look here at 51, 52 RSI. Breaking that low, maybe returning to the weekly RSI median would be okay as long as this doesn't break 21.3. Stays above 21.3, then you're painting bullish, strong bullish, Class A. Bullish divergence on your lows, but you're not there. You're not there. Keep an eye. That's spicy. You don't get this a lot. It really doesn't happen a lot. RSI rarely on a high time frame does that. Rarely. Let's do this. Boom. Boom, boom. Quickly looking at our Ichi, we're seeing support down at 20.3 on the week with our KJ and TK. We're still below the cloud. Does kind of look like it wants to come up into that cloud though, in my opinion. Looking back at the previous bear market, we can see definitely some structural difference there. This thing rocketed up, traded sideways through this weak cloud. We avoided that on this run and then dropped. But this is starting to look very similar back here with price moving up towards the cloud, consolidating, getting people shaken out a little bit before moving into it. The clouds are definitely different on this approach. This is a much more voluptuous, thick cloud versus this flat, fat cloud, which I believe is much more attractive to price. Giggity. Let's go down to the day. Then we're going to get into the low time frames. Don't worry. Don't worry. Boom. Bollinger Bands. So this is actually sketchy as hell. We had the Bollinger Bands constrict as we talked about last stream. Now they're broadening again, which is unusual. At the moment, we're trading below the 20 daily MA, which is the middle of the Bollinger Band on the day. Rejection from here is ugly AF and would suggest touch to the bottom of our one standard deviation, the bottom of the Bollinger Band, down around 21.1. Gross. That's not good. That's not good. It's price is officially below the daily KJ again, as it was in early February before it retook it. However, man, that's not a good look. That's not a good look. 23.3. That's all we need, baby. Let's get back up. Are you going to generate crosses for me? It's weird that it says there's no crosses here, but by definition, there's one here. And there's got to be one around here, too. There's a cross up above the clouds, too. What we can see from the day, though, 23.9 likely to act as resistance if we do see a rally. That probably is going to line up well with our fib. Let's see. Right at the 0.5. I would say this is pretty attractive to price into the monthly close. However, a rejection from there at the 0.5 is savage, and we don't want that. That's likely to suggest not only a test of the clouds, but maybe even a little cloud shenanigans below. Cloud shenanigans. All right. Interesting. We have, honestly, yesterday kind of closed bullish, which is weird. Didn't expect that. Our candle bodies were growing. We saw a bubbling, I call it, cascading of red candles. Yesterday closed up. This isn't the most bullish hammer, but that long bottom wick and thin body does, to me, suggest a little bit of exhaustion on the sell side. I think that would back up pretty well. Maybe that moved to 23.9. That's not too shabs. Whoa, big changes on the day. Whoa. Whoa, do you believe in miracles? If you believe in miracles, now is the time to send your energy there. We identified a really ugly pattern on the day at, I don't know, maybe end of January, early February, and it did play out. It did play out. We saw money flow reach down to a new low, set a lower high, and I did not like that. Very bearish with a higher high in price. Yeah, you can call it divergence, whatever you want, but really what it is money not re-entering at the same levels it was early January. However, since the last live stream, we're starting to see, I don't know, man, knock on wood, potential miracle here. Momentum moved down to 0. It has not begun crossing yet, but this looks all too familiar to me in a weird way. VWAP is approaching or reaching back to 0, and this is the eye catcher, similar to the monthly. We kind of have this out of nowhere money flow kicking back up. They can retake this high. You might be setting up for a pretty weird bullish pattern on Market Cipher B. Wow, that's good. That is good. I did not see this. One day away from the charts, everything changes. Now, this doesn't make us out of the woods or anything, but this is not bad. If it can retake this level up here, aka momentum catching, it looks like the timing maybe right at the end of February. That's good. It's not there yet, but it's good. It may only deliver us to 23.9. I'm not a fortune teller, but yeah, man, 23.9. That's looking really prime for the end of this month. That'd be great. That would really set everything up. So we've done the long time frames. We're going to go into the low time frames, and we're going to look at what we might see during this live stream. But first, I think I want to read the chat a little bit more. I didn't want to, I don't know. I don't feel great, so I don't want to spend too much time doing the Bitcoin thing. I want to see what you guys are up to. What is up, my man? I can't pronounce your name because it's in a different language, but I'm going to send you a wave emoji just so you know I see you. Tom Green. My bum is on the rail. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Will Smith. Crypto Crab Man. Technical term. Flippity floppity flow. I agree. I agree. Whoa, says YouTube channel. Yeah, whoa. I didn't expect that. Like, that alone wouldn't be the biggest thing. Like, that would definitely, to me, suggest, like, that 23.9 or something. But, coupled with the condition of the monthly, that can get spicy. That can get spicy hella fast. We only have 2 days and 9 hours to go. And so, it's clutch time. It's clutch time. What's up, Flat Smack? Flat Smack, are you Smack from Lux Algo, or are you a different Flat Smack? Good time to start buying dips and preparing for the halving. I think it's always a good time to DCA, baby. Marcus Travaskis, giggity giggity. What's up, Ninja Glock? How you doing, my friend? Who else is here? Nick Sampson. Wick 589. Good to see you, man. You're back in Tomtown, Crowntown, baby. Master Chief is here after destroying the Halo. He's back. Class C means temporary. Class C, so it's all gibberish, man. It's just like a weak divergence, right? Ching is K. You want Jada. I don't know what that is. What's up, Tor? He's gonna slap Tom for mentioning his coin. What coin? Basin Hider. 1, 2, 3, 4 day bear divs plus 5, 6 red dot plus VWAP close to 0 line on weekly. Dude, this is spicing up into the end of the month. I will say that. Pork Fried Bryce. Good name. Paw Swap. I don't know what that is. Lil Nath. What's up, man? Lucky Thoughts. How you doing, bro? Emmanuel Gelati Mesa. Waiting on your tax refund. You know, tax timing, refund timing, stimulus check timing, all have been pretty influential factors in Bitcoin's history, I'm not going to lie. Crypto Underdogs, what's up, everybody? Hope everyone is juicing. I'm juicing. What is up? Skip Factor, Bear Market Millionaires. Nikki, hi, get better. Thank you, Nikki. Appreciate you. You freaking rock, dude. You rock, John. You rock. Next week is huge week since last week will remain the hugest until the week after. You should be a YouTuber, my friend. That was elegantly put. Schmokin' Sativa. Waiting for the Jake Paul fight, Tash. Nice. Donato Cabrera. How you doing, man? Oh, Bill. Indiana Candles. If we get bull div on the 4 hour, then the 12 hour, shouldn't we get a big push up? We haven't gotten into those time frames we're about to. Just seeing who's all here. Make sure you've smashed the like, subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. We're here almost every day. We might change the schedule to Monday through Friday, mostly because the weekends have been very boring, and I think maybe that's a better schedule, but that's still a work in progress. Crypto Surge, good morning. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday, guys. Hope you had a great weekend. Who had a great weekend? You bought Suzu's bags. Are you the same guy that was I bought Charlie Lee's bags? Because if you are, stop buying bags, son. I'm just kidding. Thanks for the education. Thanks for being here, dude. William Carey Mark from Bulgaria. Shout out to Bulgaria. You want to talk to Samson? Samson. Enso Mining, how you doing, my friend? Breeze when Lambos were in our hearts all along, and they were the friends we made along the way. Justin Denson. Up or down? Yes. Honestly, we haven't gotten into the low time frames, so I don't know in the stream really what I'm going to be looking for. But from the larger time frames, from the monthly, weekly, daily, I am seeing kind of a call to 23.9, which coincidentally is right around the stop for my short, which makes sense. What do I think of Base from Coinbase? I think it's awesome. I think more companies should develop on-chain without a coin. The problem is so many projects, they force a coin into it, and then it becomes about the coin's speculation value, etc., not about what they're building. I think it's awesome. I think it sets a great precedent for other companies, and I think that many are going to follow suit. Anandi Vacade subscribed. Bob Dobbs. The name I can't pronounce. Play Hard Boss Fight Central. I like that name. Who's here as well? David Gelfand. Urban Explorer. Who else? This is being weird. It's not showing me everything. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe now so I can shout you out and we can test if this is working. Todd Cervantes, you think 27k then hard drop? Wouldn't be surprised. Joe Clank, would this be the largest gains in February history if we close here? No. No. There's no way. There's no way. Because this February is only like 0.5% right now. Let's see. Now, February of 22 was even a green month at 12%. No. February historically, this might even be historically the smallest. Nah, that's not true. We have negative ones in 2020. Nope. But I like where your brain's at, my friend. Like where your brain's at. What's up, Joe Clankwood? No, I just said that one. Hunter Shoemaker. I need you to put the live Bitcoin price at the top corner of the stream again. Yay! There you go. There's an OG. It's been a while. Maybe we'll find a way to smoothly put that in. Rob Toscano. Seems like Bitcoin is about to break the downtrend. I hope so. Hope so. I'm still very much concerned about this. I don't love this. This is not the most loving pattern. You need a spice meter. Yes, DGen. Yes, we do. We need a spice meter. Coders of the universe. Code me up a spice meter API so I can plug it in. OP is the coin for base. Dude, I mean, I might be wrong, but as far as I know, there is no coin attached to base from Coinbase. There certainly will be imitators, but I don't think there is one officially. Crypto underdogs 23.9 is sure a large clout. Yep. 23.9, like just on those daily, weekly, monthlies, man. 24.9 is, or 23.9 is where I'm looking. And a rejection from there would suck. Would suck. It's right at your 0.5. Like, there's so much savagery that could happen there. We need someone named Bob to subscribe. If you're Bob and you haven't subscribed, Jason, you did. Bishwaz Kumar. Flipperachi, I like that. And others. Where is Bob? What's up, Matthew Barnes? Code 203. I'm doing good. Sweaty Dave, my friend Indiana Candles. Who else is here? Up and Run. You've been here since 2018. You made me money. I love you. I love you too, brother. I'm happy. I'm happy you guys joined me on this journey. Frenchie verse Staken 32th. Can't wait until you get your first block. That sounds dope. What's up, Robert Mamang? Back to back 4. Ho ho ho, Santa. Ryan, John Ryan, you're here, my boy. Steady lads, deploying capital. Long range crypto. It's going to be a year before we break 32K. That's totally possible. I honestly think we trade higher than 32K this year. I can tell you the reasoning, but yeah. Jeremy Ragsdale, boom, 420. Did we hit it? Well done, fam. Well done. We hit 420. We did it with less than 800 viewers. That's great. Now let's try to get viewers equal to likes. That would be the next level of awesome. You know what? We haven't given away memberships in a while. Let's do that. And then while we're doing that, I'm going to get into the lower time frames. So I'm going to give away a few memberships to the channel because a lot of people's expired. Where are you, Bajarki? I got to email him again. He never followed up. In order to get them, make sure you've opted into gifts on the channel. If you don't know what that means, try just refreshing the stream and it should prompt you to just enable them. I don't know why you have to. YouTube says those who engage with the stream, engagement, our favorite word, meaning like, subscribe, share, vote and poll, chat, are favored to get them. I have no control over who gets them. They're randomly gifted, but it's weighted to engagement. So feel free, put a little spam in the chat. Make sure you've subscribed, liked, etc. Vote in the poll. That's right. Steve Wiegand knows. That's right, my friend. I'll give you guys a little bit. Let's look at, we'll say like the 12 hour while you guys are spamming it up, hyping it up. And let's see if we can find us a little more alpha here. The 12. The 12 was our shining beauty. Looks like that lower high came into play here. This is interesting. So this is not a huge downside red money flow. It is a lower low versus our previous one. So we can't shrug it off. However, got some interesting signals here. Momentum's pinched and VWAP actually has rolled into positive. This being the big sign for me. Typically I see VWAP roll over and money flow follow. But almost similar to like the month and week, seems money flow is moving against price. Weird. Not against price, against VWAP and our other indicators. Unusual at best. Keep spamming. That's right. I'm going to gift these out. Let's do 5. All right. You got a few more minutes. Keep the spamming. Keep the hyping. And I hope you win. So let's go down to a weird time frame we don't usually. I don't know. The 5 hour. The 5 hour caught my eye. I posted this in Discord. By the way, jump in there if you're not in there. I do update. I have no obligation to, but on my own whimsy, I do update the live stream stuff. I do put in kind of the best of the best. It's the best way to keep up with our live streams, really. That's the gain. But I put this in the Discord because look at this 5 hour, dude. Holy shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 red 5 hours in a row. That's basically 4 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, not counting this one, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 in a row. And then, boom, we get this candle, well, yesterday, right before close. Nice little kicker candle. Wick on the bottom, large body top. How's the volume look on that? Miserable. Miserable. Oh, well. But interesting. It just doesn't look like the rest of the time frames. This is so majority red. It's wild. You have to wonder why. No one looks at the 5 hours. So why is the 5 hours so one-sided? Don't know. Let's take a peek at our market site for B. Money flow back into the red. VWAP coming down. Not so hot on the 5. Momentum is coming up off of a green dot, which is decent. But I'm not going to put much weight into that. Man, 5 hour says essentially, if you put in any kind of lower low, if you see like selling, honestly, this is like into February's close, you're likely to see more downside. Ooh. All right, I'm gifting them away. Get your spams out, get your engagement quick. I hope you win. You win. Not a good read there, though. Weird, just interesting. I don't know if it's valuable, but interesting. There we go. They're gifted away. Let's go down to like the 2 hour. We can really see price interacting here very heavily with 23.1 and 23.3. Basically, our monthly open and our monthly, what was it? Monthly resistance.